So we have a data set where we loaded from Wikipedia regarding population for different countries. We complete that exercise and transform the data sets. So now the data looks like this. We have a column of different countries. Then the rest are the columns for each different year. And so, for example, for a particular year, 1965, you observe the population for Argentina in that year. All right. So, but this type of structure is fine, but it may not be the best for you to do further data analysis. Okay. So I will need to do some further transformation of this data. Okay. In this case, it's called unpivoting. I will show you how exactly unpivoting is done and the new structure after we did this transformation. Okay. Before we do this, I want to duplicate the existing data set. Okay, I'm going to right click it and click on duplicate, and I'm going to give it a new name. I'm going to call it population 1950 2050. All right, so I'm going to work on this duplicated data set to do the transformation. Go to the transform tab and click on this unpivot columns. Actually, there's a drop-down list. There's several choices you can do. Okay, unpivot columns, unpivot other columns, or unpivot only selected columns. Okay, so before we do the unpivoting, I need to select the columns which I want to do this exercise. So actually, I want to choose those columns that corresponds to different years. So I'm going to click on this first column, 1950, and I'm going to roll all the way to the end. Get to the column for 2050. Now I'm going to click on Shift, and while pressing Shift, I'm going to click on this column. So this entire range of columns is going to be selected, starting from column 1950 all the way to the column 2050. Okay, I'm going to do a unpivoting of all these columns. And again, you will see what unpivoting actually looks like after I finish that exercise. So I'm going to do this unpivoting columns, and I'm going to choose unpivot selected columns. Okay. Okay, this is what you will see after the unpivoting. Now, for each country, for each country here, Afghanistan, you have several rows, okay? And those rows are basically different years, going from 1950 all the way to 2050, okay? So for each country you have several rows corresponding to all the individual years in the dataset, okay? Then the third column here is going to show you for this particular country, for this particular year, what's going to be the population, all right? So this data structure is going to be more useful when you do data analytics later. Okay, there's nothing wrong with the previous format of the data. Okay, that structure is fine. Just by reading it, getting information, that structure is totally fine. Okay, however, for data analytics, I prefer this type of data structure. You have one column showing you all the country names. Then for each country, you have all the years available for this data set. Then in the third column, it shows for that particular country, for that particular year, what the population is. Okay, so now I have this unpivoting done, and I want to do some other things like renaming this column instead of call it attribute. Okay, this is by default. Once you've done this unpivoting, this column is called attribute. I want to just call it name. So double click on the header and rename it year. Also for the data type, here the ABC kind of icon means this column is treated as text. If you click on this, you can just change the data type. I want to make it whole number because those are kind of years. So I want to make it whole number. And for this value column, again, that's kind of newly constructed because of this unpivoting. I want to call it, instead of value, I'm going to call it population, okay, which is more informative. And this population is in terms of thousands. So I want to, again, do some transformation. So again, click on this data head, column header, okay? Then go to standard, okay? Click this drop-down list and click on multiply. So I want to multiply those numbers, the population numbers, by 1,000. So that's an actual population number, okay, in terms of individual, okay. The previous one, population, is in terms of thousands of individuals, okay. So here, once you type this 1,000 and click on OK, see, basically the original number was multiplied by 1,000, okay. So here the data type, I want to change it to, again, whole number instead of a decimal number. All right. So after you take a look at the data set, and if you're satisfied, again, just go to the Home tab and close and apply. All right, then it's gonna reload all the data and do the transformations, and after everything's done, the data is gonna be loaded to this data sets, and we're back to the desktop. We can do the visualizations. Okay, it might take a few seconds. Okay, so now you see all the data sets, the original ones, the transformed ones are basically listed here, and you can work on those data sets to help you construct the variables.